in Nakuru County.
The government's policy of 100% transition to secondary school appears to be facing major setbacks. Yesterday, after Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha carried out a door-to-door campaign in Kibra with a view to ensuring that all deserving children join Form 1, leaders and stakeholders are questioning the practicality of the program. Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit of the Anglican Church of Kenya and vice-chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Education, Malulu Injendi, have warned that the system could prove impossible to implement due to lack of facilities and the necessary infrastructure.
Proof that time is running out for the government to realize its target on 100% transition to secondary school for 2019 KCPE candidates came to the fore when on Monday, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha launched a door-to-door campaign in Kibra slums, Nairobi. He was on a mission to identify families whose children were unable to join Form 1. Consequently, the CS took some children to school in person. But there are those who feel the government is getting it all wrong.
We are just above 50%, and we are wondering why most of the children have not reported to school. And at currency, at old Kibra Primary School where I went, a staggering 300 children have yet not reported to school.
You know, for a fact, we are running short of infrastructure in most of the schools. Most of the schools do not have facilities for all the students to join. And the government, when it comes to the budget also, the budget is not enough to put up these particular structures. Because if we're talking of all students to come to Form 1, do you have the classes? Do you have the structures? We don't have those structures. So you find that at the end of the day, as much as the government is insisting on 100% transition, this is a program that will collapse at the end of the day.
Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit of the Anglican Church of Kenya and the vice-chairperson of the Education Committee in the National Assembly, Malulu Injendi, say whereas the government has good intentions, the execution of the policy may prove counterproductive.
It is a move in the right direction. I hope it will work. The only problem is that I'm not sure whether we have enough infrastructure in terms of high schools, that we have enough high schools to be able to absorb all those children that have done KCPE. So we are yet to see when the statistics are done. But I think the effort and the philosophy and the drive is good, that we want to urge all of us to ensure that there is a 100% transition.
Speaking in Mathare slums after presiding over a ceremony to hand over a school to the community, Bishop Ole Sapit called for equitable distribution of resources, building of infrastructure in schools, before embarking on such a campaign of taking all children to school.
We can transit them, and if there are no schools, they will still go nowhere. Or if there are no facilities in those schools, then they will be impeded by an environment that is not going to be conducive if there will be no books or no classrooms or even no enough teachers. So the 100% transition must also be commensurate in a measure of, do we have enough teachers?
It is for a fact the Education Committee will be pushing for employment, recruitment of more teachers in schools. The government is crying that it doesn't have money. Now, like for example, this year we are recruiting only 5,000 teachers against so many schools, against a 100% transition program. So you find that now, at the end of the day, this is just an insult. You're having so many students coming into school, coming into Form 1, you have no teachers to teach them.
With just about 60% of children having joined Form 1 and with very little time still left, it's no doubt 100% transition is a tall order that may require all stakeholders to come on board for it to be realized. Shadrach Miti, KTN News, Nairobi.